They walk down the southern steps. They go down around the south end. They go down the Kidron Valley, cross over the bridge, come back up to the other side on the Mount of Olives, and he has just told them something, and we find out that there are just 3 disciples when we take a look at the whole context, and you'll read about in the chronological Gospels, because Matthew doesn't tell who they are, but the other Gospels tell who the disciples are. This is not hundreds, it's not 12, it's not 50,000 disciples, it's 3 of them, and they are there, and they say, sat down on the Mount of Olives, verse 3, the disciples came to him privately, said, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of your coming and of the end of the world? Bad translation, aeon, the end of the age. It's not the end of the world, okay? Harold Camping is the false prophet who's coming out and saying, oh, the world's going to end, the elements are going to dissolve, the rapture is going to happen in May, and in October the entire universe is going to cave in. What an idiot. I mean, this guy is the biblical definition of idiot, okay? From the Greek word idios, which is one's own interpretation. The guy has come up with something that is so ridiculous. Yeshua says, don't let these false prophets, those who say they represent me, don't let them deceive you in any way. In other words, these things must come to pass. And when he said, Yeshua says in Matthew 24 that we'll go back and read it now. Take heed that no man deceive you. Many shall come in my name. Simon Messiah shall deceive many. You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. The very things that Yeshua says are indications that the end is not yet, people are saying are all evidence that the end is here. How crazy can you get? You know, this is what we got. We come up with this pick a verse, pick little lines out of verses, and start expounding on them and not put it in context. Yeshua said that these things are all going to come to pass, but the end is not yet. There are things that must take place. There are legal prerequisites to the return of the Messiah. Until these things happen, Yeshua cannot and he will not, under any condition, return. Period. Because the Almighty runs the universe and it hangs on his word. He has determined what is going to take place. He gives his word and nothing is going to circumvent it. Can God create a rock so big that he can't lift it? If he decides to. And that's what he's done. When he gives his word, he has created a rock that he can't lift. In other words, he will not violate his own word. He is true to his word. And we then can go to eternity on his word. That is our eternal security, that his word is true, and if we obey his word, then we will reap the consequences. And that's not just, it's not prosperity in this life. It is doing his will in this life so that all of eternity we will reap the reward for that. Because this life is very, very short, and then you die. So, we got to make the most of it. Now, here we are. The end is not yet. We just got through reading that. So, when it says the things which must shortly come to pass, this was written 2,000 years ago. So, if they're shortly going to come to pass, but yet the end is not yet until certain things happen, what is this talking about? The word shortly is in swiftness. They must. When these things begin to transpire, they will go down with great rapidity, with great swiftness. And so the servants need to know these things, because when this thing hits, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be a dead run to the finish line.